So my name is Sarah Musiker. I'm the Senior Director of Utility and Government Affairs at Flume Water. That title takes on a different kind of role every single day, but at its core, my work is working with utilities to help them achieve conservation goals throughout their community and really improve the way that we are all collectively managing water use across the United States. Flume simply is just a smart home water monitor. It really allows for real-time monitoring of water use at the residential level. So the monitoring is either by the homeowner or the utility. And we're able to read water use off of positive displacement meters every 5 seconds. And then it uploads that data to the cloud every minute to really just enable real-time water use. Because of this real-time monitoring, homeowners use it for a variety of benefits. I think the first and perhaps most immediate benefit that most people think of is real-time leak detection. Maybe someone has had a really high water bill in the past and it's caused great concern for them. They called into their utility and said, what can I do about this? Or it caused huge potentially damage to their home. And so they really wanted to find some sort of solution that allows them to catch leaks in real time. But the device also allows customers to understand water use by appliance and fixture and just take control of their use. Sometimes all it takes is that like light bulb moment of seeing just how much water is being used outdoors in their sprinkler system or their pool system for them to adjust their use. And because we're reading water use so quickly, we're actually able to separate out water use by appliance and fixture and tell them in real time exactly where the water's going. And then the last thing I would say is budgeting. You know, water can be very expensive in some cities and for some communities. And so allowing people to really take control of their use, set budgets for themselves, manage their water use, whether it's, a budget set by their utility because of drought conditions or a household budget because of monetary concerns. That's a real solution. And, it's paid off. The flume sensor in some communities, once it's been installed, has actually reduced annual use by an average of 14.6% in the year after installation per household. This is really where my passion and focus is in the work that I do because my background is working with utilities and governments in water management. The sky is kind of the limit here. I think that Flume and the data and analytics that come from using Flume devices can allow utilities to achieve goals no matter what they might be. So in the short term, of course, it helps to save water, it can reduce water loss, it can improve utility and customer relationships. But in the long term, our goal is to empower water agencies to make intelligent decisions for their community using kind of precise data. With the analytics, we're really all much smarter about how to implement change or growth for the future, or just tackle current problems that are facing our community. And so that can look like long-term planning and forecasting. Maybe a utility is working on their long-term 30-year water use plan or water supply planning. For some communities, assessing compliance with state or federal water regulations. Obviously, California, this is a big concern. But then also just developing dynamic programming in response to changing water conditions, right? What do we need to do in terms of rebates provided in the future? Or, oh no, we have a drought. Are people actually following the regulations we're putting out? How are they using their water? So much of water management in the US is about billing, but our work is really intended to help entities understand where the water is going, who is using the water, when it's being used, and how it's being used. But even more than that, why water use is or isn't changing over time. And this is really what this incredible data and analytics allows. We work with a number of communities across the US. One of our biggest programs right now is with Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. They recently launched a program last summer where obviously there were serious drought conditions across much of the kind of Southern California communities. We work in communities in Georgia. There's a number of rebates available for customers there. We've had extensive programs in Texas and Arizona. A lot of these sound like kind of big drought hubs, but again, we work also with wholesalers in the United States that are looking to kind of better understand where their water is going when they're selling it to retailers. I think the cool thing about data and analytics is we only get smarter and better over time. So, for example, when I first started at Flume, we were kind of just dipping our toes into the ability to separate out water use by appliance and fixture to get a sense of kind of where water was going. And now we're actually able to get a sense of exactly how much water is going to like toilets or shower heads in a community to be considered efficient. So, for example, we're working with a community in the Southwest that was trying to understand where to focus their conservation efforts and programming. And Flume analysis showed that 40% of the flow rates in that area were above EPA water sense rated levels. And so those could potentially be reduced with additional programming or funding. We also were looking at the community and found that over 48% of the homes in that community that had a Flume device also had a swimming pool, and that these homes used about 53 gallons per household more than homes without a pool. And so there's obviously some conservation programming that can happen there. But I would say beyond that as well, we are really able to look at kind of water use in different communities and top metro areas across the United States. So we host a quarterly webcast where we just share this information publicly. Our goal here is really to democratize this data and make it accessible to everyone. So we'll share out kind of water use insights between indoor and outdoor use and highlight, very I think significant findings in terms of where water is going or how it's being used based off of kind of different needs or interests depending on the time of year. And we do this on a quarterly basis for free for anyone that wants to attend. The great thing about Flume and AMI is AMI, I think, solves a lot of billing challenges in the community. So it really helps utilities to tackle, I think, some of the ways in which they're engaging with customers and customer water use. Flume works with AMI systems and also as an alternative to AMI systems or as a bridge to utilities that are moving towards AMI systems, because the data we're presenting is fundamentally different and it looks at things in a little bit of a different way. So because we're able to separate out water use by appliance and fixture, we're able to provide a perspective on top of what AMI is able to provide. We're able to really dig deep into exactly where water is going, catching water loss in real time, whereas some AMI systems can be delayed. We worked with one community in Northern California that actually their AMI system had a limit on the amount of continuous use it could collect. It was down to a cubic foot, and it wasn't catching pinhole leaks in their system. And as a result, it actually caused a variety of home damage across their community. And as you can imagine, was a bit of a customer nightmare, but using Flume devices, they were able to catch these pinhole leaks and really address the challenge in real time, which was great. We've worked with communities where AMI is fully deployed, where they're on their way to it, or they're never going to do it. The data that we can present really is only a complement to AMI systems. They should attend the webcast or just check out the data themselves. It's always publicly available online at flumedatalabs.com. And there's a water use index there that they can go and check out. We work with a number of utilities across the United States, and we make this information publicly available. So please reach out to your fellow utility that works with Flume, learn about their experience. And then we're always at conservation events throughout the year. So maybe if you're at WSI this fall, we'll see you then.